who sexually, physically and mentally abused a vulnerable baby for his own sadistic pleasure.
At 6:25 p.m. on July 27, 2023, a paramedic standing outside Blackpool Victoria Hospital saw a man sprinting across the car park with a baby in his arms. The child was not moving. He was not breathing. In an instant, the ordinary chaos of a hospital entrance turned into an emergency.
Listen. No, I can't. No.
Doctors, nurses, and paramedics rushed into action, doing everything they could to save the boy's life. For nearly an hour, they fought to bring him back, but despite every effort, they could not. The baby was 13-month-old Preston Davey. His death would lead investigators into a disturbing case of missed warning signs, repeated injuries, and unanswered questions about how a vulnerable child could remain in danger, even while coming into contact with professionals whose job was to protect him. To understand how Preston's story ended there, you have to go back to the beginning. Preston was born on June 16, 2022 in England. His early life did not begin in stability. His biological mother, Sarah Davey, was unable to care for him, and just days after his birth, he was removed from her care and placed into foster care. For the first months of his life, that arrangement appeared to give him the safety every child needs. His foster parents, known publicly only as Sandra and Paul, provided him with a secure home. According to those who saw him, Preston seemed to be thriving. Social workers and health visitors described him as a happy, healthy little boy who was developing well. For a child who had already experienced such a difficult start, that stability mattered. It suggested that Preston had finally found a place where he could grow up safely. But in January 2023, social services approved a new placement. Preston was set to be adopted by Jamie Varley, a 37-year-old teacher, and his partner John McGowan Fazakerly, who was 32. They had completed the adoption process. Assessments had been carried out. The paperwork had been signed off. On the surface, everything appeared to be in order. In April 2023, Preston moved into their home in Blackpool, Lancashire. To those around him, it looked like the next chapter in a child's life who had finally found permanence. But within weeks, serious concerns would begin to emerge. Medical records later showed that Preston was taken to Blackpool Victoria Hospital 3 separate times before his death. Each visit involved signs that something was wrong. Each time, bruising or injuries were documented by staff. And each time, explanations were offered that framed the injuries as everyday accidents. A fall, a bump, an ordinary mishap. Those explanations were accepted. At least once, police were contacted. Social services were involved, but no one removed Preston from the home. That's what makes this case so difficult to comprehend. Preston was not a child hidden completely from the outside world. He was seen by doctors. He was seen by nurses. He was seen by health visitors, social workers, and police officers. He came into contact with people trained to notice when a child may be at risk. And yet, despite those encounters, he remained where he was. As detectives later began to piece together the final months of his life, the picture became far more serious than anyone initially realized. Medical experts identified more than 40 separate injuries across Preston's body. There was bruising in multiple places, as well as a healing fracture to his left arm. Specialists concluded that the injuries were consistent with non-accidental harm. The evidence suggested that what was happening to Preston was not isolated. It was not a one-time incident. It was part of a pattern. Investigators also recovered digital evidence from Jamie Varley's phone, which prosecutors said became central to the criminal case. According to the prosecution, that material pointed to a prolonged pattern of abuse, including sexual abuse.
Jamie Varley is an evil and monstrous individual who sexually, physically and mentally abused a vulnerable baby for his own sadistic pleasure.
One of the most disturbing details in the case came from just hours before Preston was taken to hospital for the last time. According to prosecutors, sometime after leaving his mother's house, Preston suffered a final assault. No one outside that home knew what had happened. The first sign that something was desperately wrong came just after 6:25 p.m. when the paramedic outside Blackpool Victoria Hospital saw a man running toward him with a baby in his arms. That man was Jamie Varley. Paramedic Simon Crabb took Preston from him immediately and rushed inside, where emergency treatment began at once. The medical team moved fast. Chest compressions were started. Oxygen was administered. Staff worked urgently around the child, trying every available measure to restore his breathing and restart his heart. For the next hour, the atmosphere in the hospital was one of frantic effort and unbearable tension. Witnesses later described Varley as distressed and desperate. He repeatedly pleaded with staff to save the child. According to testimony presented at trial, he also said words that would later become significant during the investigation. "I killed him." Nurse Carrie Aubrey told the court that Varley became so agitated that she had to stop him from interfering with the medical team while they tried to treat Preston. She said the situation was unlike anything she had experienced in her career. At 7:18 p.m., after every possible intervention had been exhausted, doctors made the decision no medical team wants to make. Further treatment would be futile. Preston Davey was pronounced dead. He was just 13 months old. When detectives began questioning Varley, he claimed that Preston had accidentally drowned after being left alone in a bath for a short period. That explanation was quickly tested against the medical evidence. Special examinations did not support accidental drowning. The post-mortem findings revealed numerous injuries, and experts concluded that the damage was consistent with repeated non-accidental harm over time. The investigation widened. Electronic devices belonging to Varley were examined, and prosecutors later said those devices contained evidence that helped establish what they believed had been happening in the home. Combined with the medical findings and witness statements, investigators built a case that pointed to sustained abuse rather than a single tragic accident.
Some of these injuries are said that these are non-accidental. How do you explain that?
I, as again said during the interview, I have never, ever hurt my son.
The case eventually went to Preston Crown Court, where jurors heard weeks of testimony from doctors, investigators, forensic experts, and witnesses involved in the inquiry. The trial lasted 8 weeks. When the jury returned its verdicts, they were unanimous on multiple charges. Jamie Varley was convicted of murder, child cruelty, grievous bodily harm, sexual offenses involving Preston, and offenses relating to indecent images of a child. John McGowan Fazakerly was convicted of allowing the death of a child, child cruelty, and sexual offenses linked to the case. When the verdicts were announced, witnesses reported that Varley collapsed in the dock. The sentencing brought the case to its final legal chapter, but not its emotional one. The judge imposed a whole life order on Jamie Varley, the most severe sentence available under English law.
This is a case of the utmost extreme gravity. You will stay in prison for the rest of your life. You will never be eligible for parole.
Meaning he will never be released from prison. McGowan Fazakerly was sentenced to 25 years in prison. During the sentencing hearing, Preston's biological mother addressed the court. She described her son as a little boy whose smile could light up a room. She spoke about the pain of losing him so soon after birth.
What makes it even more unbearable is knowing that his death was not an accident, it was something cruel.
And about the hope she had held onto that he would be safe with the family chosen to care for him. That trust, she said, had been shattered. The tragedy was not that no one ever saw signs of harm. The tragedy was that concerns were raised, injuries were recorded, and multiple agencies became involved. Yet the intervention needed to protect him never came in time. If you work with children in any capacity, as a teacher, nurse, doctor, social worker, police officer, or caregiver, never ignore concerns that do not sit right with you. One report, one referral, one difficult conversation. Those actions can change the course of a child's life. Rest easy, Preston. The world knows your name now.